Hello? How are we doing? Is everything audible and visible? I see Boo. I see Boo in the chat. Do you want to see a little baby? Little baby is here today. Oh. She's going to just be chilling over here, I think. Okay, I'm gonna put my glasses on. And we're gonna get going. Oh my god, everything is so crisp and clear. Let's switch this up. Okay, so goal today. This is completely new, completely starting from scratch. I think I want to just make sure that we create a map. I don't know what else I want to make sure we do today. But I want to get a map, enough that it feels like a living, breathing world. It has to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I only have like a couple hours, but we'll see what we can do. I don't like this song. I just looked up copyright free fantasy music on Spotify. So that's what's playing. I want to... This may be too sciencey for me, but I'm gonna see if I can do it. I want to try to make a map that takes tectonic plates into account. I think that's gonna make it look more real. And I feel like from a starting point of having like a map that has visible, you know, physical borders and such, I think it'll be a lot easier to build, you know, cultures and ideas off of those. Hang on, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Just a little bit more. There we go. Beyond that, I don't know. We'll see where it takes us. We'll see what feels good. But hopefully you guys can see all the little blobs on the screen. Let's see. I want the funky blob. And we're just gonna doodle. And see what we can do. Oh my goodness! Thank you! Wait, I can't see. Why didn't it do the thing? Thank you for the follow. Brickmaster E. The pop-ups worked on repo stream. Should have followed then. Why aren't they working? I have no idea. Moderator before even following. Let's change this to a little eraser. Subtract. Hello. Hello. Oh, I see. I see. I've done a big oops. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, the follow animations are just like an absolute mystery to me. I had them working for 1 stream out of 3 so far, but at least, did you hear the sound? The sound was there, and that's all that was there. You didn't even hear the sound? I heard the sound. I had a little sound and a little bubble, but I guess that was just for me. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna do this differently, because I did it wrong. There we go. You didn't see it either? Did you see the one not last night? Wednesday night? Those sure are some blobs. Does anyone know how tectonic plates work? Does anyone know? Because aren't there like a bunch of different kinds? You have the ones that are like sliding against each other, and you have the ones that are pushing against each other. Best viewers on 3 asterisk Njimada Hey 1. I know there's a lot of options. I'm going to try to keep it simple, but I'm trying to go for believability. I think that'll be nice. So here's kind of my guiding whatever. My guiding thing. Okay, I want to make something that's recognizably Earth-like, but fantasy, right? Not Earth, something different. But fantasy-based. I want it to have some sort of rich mythology. I'm sure that will include creatures, religions, whatever else, but I want it to be something original. I could imagine something like this eventually becoming like a story or a D&D setting or something like that. Right now, it's just ideas, but I don't want to go based off of just pre-established race, right? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, this could eventually be used for a D&D setting, so it's going to have humans and elves and dwarves. I want to try to make something original. It has to have dragons. That much it has to have. But I think I want to do an original twist on them. I did one story that I've been working on. I was considering actually doing a little bit of writing for it on stream. I don't know. I don't know what I'll decide. But in that world, the dragons are like, this is probably not a super original idea, but the dragons are like born of the earth, right? So it's like magma pockets are like a womb for a dragon, and they get born, and then they kind of like erupt out of the earth like a volcano. And so the whole premise of the starting part of a story is you begin in a city, and it's like, oh, beautiful, idyllic city. And then it turns out there's a dragon womb beneath the city, and the dragon bursts out through the city, finally like waking up and being born, and destroys it all. Fun story so far. I wanted to have multiple intelligent species. So all of D&D, but not like just D&D species, if that makes sense. Let me catch up with chat. Fortunately, I can't help with plate tectonics, but I could potentially help with regional climatology. That would actually be great. I think it'd be fun to make, like, we have main map, and then we have, like, weather map. Maybe, like, a currents map. We could even make, like, a star chart. We can do anything. We can do anything we want. Yes, I love dragons. Who doesn't love dragons? Only thing I know about plate tectonics is that mountain ranges happen at spots where two of them crash into each other and force material upwards. Definitely. And then we can have like valleys in between those spots. And I also want to make some sort of like shtick for the world, if that makes sense. If we make wholly new species, I can turn them into 5e races. That would be so much fun. I think that'd be awesome. I think I mentioned this before, but I think it would be cool if it was like a, I don't know, anybody can do anything they want with it. We might make it on here, but that doesn't mean that it's like solely my thing to do stuff with. Let's bring that in. How does that look? That looks stupid. It looks like a bunny rabbit. I hate that. What if we bring this in over here? That's maybe more better. I want to come up with some sort of little shtick for the world. I'm a bunny. So, like, I saw somebody who was creating a world where, like, there were multiple continents inside this giant ocean, but the whole of it was entirely contained within, like, basically a giant bowl. Like, there were enormous, enormous cliffs on all sides of the world, and nobody knew what was beyond it or why they were there. And that's such a cool premise. Or, like, there was another world that somebody was making where it was, like, some big cosmic eldritch being had scarred the center of the world and, like, ripped out a chunk of it. Which was kind of like the defining factor of how people interacted with a lot of the world. So something like that. I don't know what that will look like yet, but some sort of a unique little element to the world. Oh. Hang on a second. Let me bring back our connection. What about the complete opposite? The world is surrounded by an extremely steep drop that no one has ever seen the bottom of. The world just falls. Flat Earth truthers? Can we get Flat Earth truthers in the chat? That's a great idea. I really love that. I really love Flat Earth truthers. The ground continues. It's just extremely steep. That's what you want us to think. Hang on, my little thing died. My little thing died. I have my well, I had my iPad connected. Is that gonna mess it up? Did I mess it up? Oh, I didn't really mess it up. Okay. There we go. Wonderful! This is just so I can doodle if I want to doodle. Yes, yes, it broadcasts the whole iPad, so if I click on the wrong thing, you'll see all my secrets. How many suns for this world? I don't know. I do like the idea of having multiple moons. I think that's a fun idea. But I don't know. I never thought about multiple suns. We could do that. Like, if you turn around, you can still see the ground you're on extend downward. I thought you meant the sugar glider for a moment. Oh my goodness. Do you want to see a little baby again? Little baby. Would you like to say hi? She's very sleepy right now. It's her nap time. It's her sleepy nap time. There you go. If I move her too much right now, she'll pee on me. She'll pee all over me. We should start writing some of this down. Okay, let's see. Stream ideas. Okay, we have flat earth truthers. Sugar glider folk? Oh my god. That would be so much fun. No, not flat earth truthers? Are you sure? Are you sure? Flat earth truthers? If anybody hops in at this point randomly, that's going to be so awkward. Okay, so, ground around world has steep drop. I guess that's a fair way to phrase it right now. Maybe multiple suns or moons? That's a start. That's something. That means something. Have I told you guys the that means something story? Ooh, let me, hold on. Let me make a little text box for what we're doing in case people do hop in so they're not so super confused. So I was at, there we go. That's lovely. I was at a family wedding, and my aunt was there, and she is a very interesting person. Imagine like the most Italian lady you've ever seen in your life. She was many wine glasses deep, and people were going around and they were like, it was the gift exchange, or not gift exchange, but you know, like where you're giving the happy couple the gifts that you've brought, and we were all sitting in like a big circle and sharing the gifts and everything, and everybody was like passing them around and having a good time. And she was just like completely zoned out. Completely and utterly zoned out. And she's the type of person who never thinks about what like is going to come out of her mouth, which is so much fun. And somebody there had a wax seal device that she used to stamp like every letter. So like every letter that she ever gave to somebody a significant occasion like had a custom wax stamp on it, which is such a cool touch. And so everybody was passing it around and marveling at it. And the moment had passed. Everybody had passed it around. Like all 30 people or whatever had passed this thing around. It had arrived back at the married couple. It was done. And then all of a sudden, my aunt stands up and just like fully on her feet, and she starts clapping. And she goes, "That means something." And then she starts nodding and clapping and looking at everybody else as if they're all going to start clapping along with her. It was the funniest thing ever. That means something. Oh my god. She's amazing. I had guinea pigs for a long time. And they stayed in her house one time, much to her chagrin. And she would always believe that they were rats. And we were like, "No, it's a guinea pig." And she was like, "I don't think there's a difference." She'd probably lose her mind at a sugar glider. This is starting to look kind of real, isn't it? I don't know if there's a good way to denote on a map like this that the edges of the map drop off. Maybe we give it like some sort of vignette. I don't know. Or we can like paint around the edges with a certain color. We'll see. It is a cool idea, though. It is a cool idea. Do we like the shape so far? Does it look too stupid? Guinea pig mentioned. Yeah. We used to have guinea pigs. Maybe we have like a lake up here? I do think we start with not the whole world. We start with like part of the world. The whole world is maybe a little overwhelming to begin with, but like a couple continents, maybe the size of Europe, that's more approachable. Yeah, we had, well, it was briefly 3 guinea pigs. My sister and I each got a guinea pig. And then we had a third one that was technically our parents' guinea pig. His name was Burrito, and he was a little bitch. He was legitimately a bully. So the guinea pigs that we got were from somebody who does, it's guinea pig 4-H. I don't like this song. It's distracting my head already. I don't know how loud the music is for you guys. It's really distracting to me. Okay, guinea pig 4-H, which is apparently a thing. And just like with regular 4-H, there are like specific... Oh, that looks like a penis. Gecko will never let me live it down. That's better. There are specific physical qualities that a guinea pig has to have in order to be presented at the guinea pig 4-H shows. And so the guinea pigs have to have a proper arch to their nose. Like the right arch. They get the opposite of a nose job, okay? They need more arches. And so ours did not have those. Our guinea pigs' noses were too flat, and so they were being given away, basically, for cheap. And so I kind of want to add some stuff into this. Hang on a second. This is looking a little too blobby. Oh, that's enormous. Let's bring this down. Yeah, their noses were too flat, so we got 3 guinea pigs for pretty cheap. And one of those guinea pigs, Burrito, was horrible. Just a horrible little guinea pig. And he beat up the other 2 guinea pigs, Raimi and Pipsqueak. He was really mean. And my guinea pig was Raimi, and he, like, cut into his eye with his claw. So for the rest of his life, Raimi had like a little divot, like in his eyeball, like a little part taken out that he had to have medication on. So needless to say, we got rid of Burrito. We handed Burrito back. It was still very sad, but we got rid of Burrito, and then the other 2 guinea pigs stayed with us, and they were amazing. I love those guinea pigs so much. Guinea pigs in captivity typically live like 4 to 6 years or something like that. These guinea pigs lived like 8 to 10 years. It was nuts. I think mine passed away when he was 8. And then the little guy, Pipsqueak, lived until he was like bald and blind and 10 years old. And he was like a freaking immortal guinea pig. I don't know how he did that, but he was just like... Even his squeak sounded like an old man squeak. It was ridiculous. I don't know why this part of this river is giving me a lot of grief, and I don't like the way that it looks, and I can't really figure out why, but I just don't like it. Maybe it cuts in too far. Maybe I'll just take out all of this. See, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. This may just be because of the Minecraft mod pack. But I do kind of want to add mushroom people. I think that would be fun. Little mushroom people. Let's make this even smaller. We're going to do some detail work, and then I think we're going to bring in our tectonics. I think. I see Diamond has said Bowl Earth Trooper Truthers. Soggy Soup Bowl Earth Theory. Oh my god. This is still too big. I guess that's as small as we can go. I kind of wanted to make it smaller, but that's okay. Whatever we can get. Let's go for a couple little peninsulas up here. Oh, now there's a little island. Let's double down on that. Brush size, absolutely tiny. Give us a little island. Ooh, lovely. Is that cute? We give another island right here. That's not an island anymore. Give another island right here. That's not an island. It's too small. No. Idea for the sugar glider folk. B-E-E-G. What is Beeg? What is Beeg Forest? Is that just big? That they set up tree houses in? Like the Ewoks, but there's no bridges between them. It's just expected to glide from massive tree to massive. That's really cute. Sugar glider folk. Gliding between big old trees. Mushroom people. I don't know why at first I was trying to read B-E-E-G like... Isn't there some abbreviation people do for like big bad? B-B-E-G. Big bad evil guy? Is that the one? That looks kind of cool. We'll do a few more little doodles along the coast, and then I think we're going to try to tackle tectonics, because we're so brave. We're so brave and stupid. More on subtract. Okay. Maybe we have another little globby go in over here. Does that look okay? It looks like a weird foot. I don't like it. We could put another globby over here. I think it looks kind of cool so far. Do we just attempt it now? I should probably take flat Earth off of here. Let's remove flat Earth from the iPad. Where's my Apple Pencil? Hang on. You drop it. Okay. What should we put here? We'll put some of our other notes so we keep them in mind. We're doing tectonics. We're doing multiple intelligent species. If you can't read my handwriting, that's the end of that sentence. Do we say anything else important that we should put up here? I think that might be enough. I think that might be okay for now. All right. Let's just look up tectonic map. I'm using Ecosia now. I've been converted. Not just because my Chrome still won't open on my computer. But it's nice. It's cute. Let's just open this in new tab. Take a look. Let's see if we can find any maps of people putting tectonics on a made-up plate. Tectonic map. Fantasy? Oh, there's a bunch. Whoa. Okay, let's analyze this. So all the different arrows are the direction that they're pushing. Okay, so the red lines are where they're emerging from. I can kind of just do shit. I do have a thing for verisimilitude. Not necessarily like, you know, science heavy, per se. But verisimilitude. Okay, so we make some lines. I wonder if we can create a new layer. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Is that where two plates are meeting? Lines where they're pushing away from. So then they're all moving away from those lines, and then that can determine where mountains are. So when I made D&D world map, it was like I just kind of then I just kind of did shit. I just kind of did whatever I wanted to, however I wanted to, in my typical fashion. And it looked okay. I think that looked fine. But I do think it adds a little extra layer when you're actually thinking about how the geology works a little bit. Can we make a new layer? Layer. Maybe we do it in the foreground? Oh, wait, that's the foreground. We do it in the top layer. I won't lie, I don't entirely know how layers on Incarnate work. I think there's only the 3 of them. Do we have just like a draw tool? We have a path. That's for pro. Maybe we should get pro again. There's that ridge in the middle of the ocean, IRL, where 2 plates are pulling apart from each other, making a fissure. Oh, you are right. You are right. I guess in this example, something like that would happen where those red lines are. Where plates are pulling apart. We'll see what we can do. Lines. What now? That's where all the new rock material gets generated from. Oh, it's a cobblestone generator. In real life. That's amazing. Do I have just like a little line? I don't. I guess we can... Let's do this on top layer. Brush layer is now top, and then we can just hide it when we want to. And we'll do add, and we'll do a different color. Oh! We'll do a different texture. Okay. What's a good line texture? Texture line. Should we just do it in white? Will this work? We're about to find out. No, it's just more of that. Help. Okay. We do it here. Top, brush size. Let's turn it way down. Okay. I think I might have figured it out. Let's make one. We should do it red. I don't know if we have a red. These are the colors that we have. The closest we have is this. We have like an orange. We can do tiny orange line. Let's see how this looks. If we just do... Let's make it just the round shape. Hold on. Let's do it like this. A line. Okay. We're gonna make these where it's pushing away from. Let's have one that's going this way. We'll have another one that's out over here. That seems good. Because this isn't... In my head, this is not a whole world. It's not a whole entire world like this. It would just be like, I don't know, like this part. Oh my god, that actually looks remarkably similar. Oh. That's fine. Hence is the nature of creating things. I've lost all my trains of thought. They're all gone. What was I doing? We need to make the other lines. Let's create another color. Maybe we do this one as white. Do you hear this little flute riff? Okay, let's make one. Let's just doodle. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. Let's do one that's going like this. We'll have another one that's over here. Maybe a big thing like this. What I do know about tectonics is they don't meet 4 lines in one. The most is only ever 3. I don't know why that is. I don't know what the science is, but I know that that's a thing. Yeah, only ever 3. I don't know if it's just like if there's 4 meeting, it's like unstable enough that it just can't stay that way. I really don't know. And let's do another one that's like this. I think that's probably enough. And then this one would be moving this way. Like a so. This one's moving over here. This one's moving this way. This one's maybe getting pushed out this way. Can have this one kind of coming in like this a little bit. And this one doing a similar thing. Maybe this one's coming from a couple directions. That's a thing, right? It is now. And then maybe right here. Does that look real? I think that looks kind of cool. Okay. Let's see. Do I have mountains? Look at them. They're right there. Oh, the bagpipes are going to distract me too. I'm just going to listen to them and not talk. Okay. It's a good mountain size. Does this look good? Mountain size? We put maybe some mountains down here. Like a so. And then we can have a range that's kind of cutting across like this. And this is cool because as soon as we do this, watch what happens. We immediately begin to get a like naturally emerging part of the world where this country over here, this one, let me zoom in. If we put something right here, little country naturally divided by a natural physical border in the world, and boom, we have geopolitics. I wonder if we like extend this out. Yes, boom, geopolitics. We'll have a few like this since these plates are kind of pushing together. Maybe it slid over time. I don't know if that's how tectonics in mountains work, but it does now. That's how it works now. We'll create a little more here. And then look at that. Now we have this area, which would become like a little valley. Eclipse, if you're still in the chat, isn't it a thing where like one side of the mountain gets, or a mountain range gets heavier rainfall and the other side does not? Do we need like to devise wind currents before we do that? Or can we literally just say these sides, these sides of the mountains get covered? Would it change depending on where we are in the world, or is it just like universally, it's always the west side or whatever? Or does it depend on like where in the world you are? It depends on the direction of the wind. So it can change depending on location in the world. Like at one point it's the west side of the mountain range, another point it's the... Does that change depending on where you are, like above or below an equator? Is it, because aren't there those like, I don't know what they're called, but like the striations where you're like marking off, what is it, like the 6 sections of the world. I kind of need to decide wind directions. We can do that. We can decide wind directions. The head of one of the projects I'm in spent a long time doing the wind currents of our world. I really don't know much about wind currents. I don't. But, I mean, we can look up a map and throw some together like we did with this. This part of the continent looking really, really empty right now, though, isn't it? This part looking really empty. I wonder what we can do over here. It's not like we have to add more mountains to it, but we should give it some personality. Depends on regions of high versus low pressure and hemispheres. Okay. These continue here. I'm just going to flesh these out a little bit more before we continue. I don't think there would be much of a mountain range here. I think this would be earthquake territory. The rain shadow will be the side that is being blocked because the mountains are catching all the rain clouds and stopping them from passing over. Thank you for looking at your notes. Oh, I'm sitting on my foot and it's falling asleep. What? Bradley, what? I have invented the island of Great Britain. It's not Great Britain. No. No. You can literally see the channel between Wales and Cornwall. What have I done? Oh my god. UK spent so many years colonizing they even colonized my brain. And the Scottish Highlands up north. Oh my god. Okay, well we can make it, first of all, bigger than the UK, right? It can be a bigger place, because I was kind of thinking of it on a larger scale. We can also turn it topsy-turvy. We can do anything we want. I was considering... Here come the bagpipes again, and I'm getting distracted. It's such a problem. This is what it is. See, the bagpipes are in my brain, and they're like, bring us home. Oh my god. No, it's not just Britain. What was I saying? I was considering flipping north and south. Although I guess that just kind of depends on where you are in a world, but I was considering it. Just as a little bit of freshness. I kind of want to put some mountains over here. Even though they're not a mountain place. What is this funky bass line? See, this is my problem. As somebody who does music, I can never stop listening to the music. Hang on, little baby wants to go back into her little baby home. I'll be right back. Say bye, little baby. Might be a bit head screw, but I've always found it fun when ancient cultures didn't have north at the top of their maps. It is kind of fun, isn't it? It is kind of fun. I did think it was really cool if we do start going from like a story perspective, having like a character who's going through and documenting this stuff, but like we're the character, right? But then we're like documenting it through a POV And so then the maps are like subject to that POV. Not this map, obviously, but eventually. I thought that would be cool. Apparently a lot of old maps head east at the top because of the sunrise. Egyptians head south at the top because that's where the Nile River originated from. That's really cool. I like east at the top because of the sunrise. That's really fun. I'm going to just run off the same global curriculum as the Earth since I don't see a reason not to. I think that's fair. I mean, we're going for Earth-like. I should add that here as well. Recognizably. I don't know if that's how you spell that. Earth-like. Beautiful. I'm still catching up. You can do a lot with the orientation of your world maps. Perhaps making it north top while creating the world would be easier than turning it later. That's very possible. And we kind of like flip it around later. It means your tundras and ice caps would be on the left and right if you go east-west at the top. You're right. Oh my god, that would be kind of fun. That also then begs the question, how big a part of the world is this? I don't think we need to know yet. But it's in my head. I wanted to add mountains over here. I don't know. We'll get to mountains over there later. Maybe I don't care about that island yet. Maybe I only care about the UK. Oh, what are we doing? I'm gonna shrink these and add some little smaller mountains around them. Just like this. Have them kind of spoking out here. Did you guys ever see that one of those pictures that went around online that was like you comparing the vein shape that you get in like rivers and mountains and tree leaves and our own veins and how it all kind of looks the same? Anyways, I'm doing a little bit of veining on the mountains. Just along the edges. We'll kind of get them branching off. Oh, I haven't saved? Okay, let's save for a second. Oh, a name? Oh, this is a good running question. Running off the center being the equator and the tops being the poles. I think we can start there. At least to get like a basis for where we are, and then we can wiggle it around from there. Every time I get on the stream, my nose is so itchy. It's like the bottom of my nose. It always feels like there's a hair like right here. Is there a hair on my microphone that keeps touching my nose? There actually are a couple little hairs. Help. Ew. Ew. Oh, imagine putting a little city right here that's in a bay hemmed in by mountains. That'd be really fun. That'd be really fun. So eventually, I don't think I've shown this really yet, but we do have this World Anvil page for this. I'll make this public as we add stuff to it so people can look at it in between streams. But when we get like a functioning map down, I'll put it over there and then we can put little markers on it. So if we were like, we want a city right here, we can put a marker on it and then attach a little like city article to it. Love our mountains. We'll remember what that means, right? That's too loud a music for me. There we go. Surely. Surely we'll remember. Okay, we're almost done with mountains. What in the Halo soundtrack? Do you mean this one playing right now? Or the one that I just skipped? Oh, I think we leave a little valley right here. Look at that. It'll be a mountain bowl. Ooh. Oh, we got some more. Okay. A few more little mountains. Thank you, Nightbot. No, the other one. Do you know I played a teeny tiny little bit of Halo when I was in middle school? I was just at a friend's house and I was horrible at it. What kind of eldritch horror lives in that mountain bowl? Oh, don't call Rose that. Eldritch horror mountain bowl. Okay, let's save this and let's look up wind maps. I'm gonna delete that one. I think we have this one saved. That's nice. I'm gonna keep this. I may, in fact, copy this image and steal it and put it way down here. There we go. Now we have that saved forever and ever. Let's see. Let's do wind map. Let's keep it. Well, let's do a real world wind map. Wind map. Wind map. Map of the winds. Westerlies. Westerlies happen at a specific longitude? Longitude, latitude? Longitude, latitude. Right? They happen at a specific longitude? You may want to do global circulation map. Okay. Okay. Glabble. Global circulation map. Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty cool looking. The mid latitudes is the westerly. Oh, so it's latitude, not longitude. Mid latitude. Okay, so it is determined based on the location near the equator. Does that make it time to decide where-ish this might be? This is tricky. This is a tricky little challenge. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And then I'm going to take away the lines that we did for tectonics. And we'll add some wind lines. We use the directions that the wind is from in meteorology, so the wind is coming from the west. I see. Okay. Got you, hence the westerlies. Hmm. It depends on different typical surface heating patterns, which form either high or low pressures. What do you mean by surface heating patterns? Is that just like how warm the climate is? Is that like... What does that mean? Did I do all those mountains on the wrong layer? Hold on a second. No, I didn't. Did I? I don't think so. Let's find out. No, I didn't. Okay, thank goodness. I was scared for a second. I was scared. So the equator is a region of low pressure because the sun is constantly heating it. Is that why equator is where doldrums occur? Look at our beautiful Great Britain. And the poles are regions of low pressure because cold. Poles are high. Okay, that makes sense. So poles, high pressure. Equator, low pressure. So is it generally equator has a little bit less wind and poles tend to have higher winds? Or is that too much of a generalization? Do we have a compass stamp? We have this. Boop. That means we just have to decide which way is up. Where's north? I do kind of like flipping it on its head immediately and doing east. East up. Boop. I've made a decision, and now that's what's happening. The equator does have calmer winds because of the rising air associated with low pressure. Okay, so heat, air rises, lower pressure, lower winds. Okay, then we could make this area over here, this one, the colder one. And we can have this be a little bit warmer down here. Then it's not Great Britain, right? 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 Okay. So if it's in this sort of orientation, the winds on our map would be moving up and down. Is that going to mess with the mountain range situation? So then some of them would more clearly be like having a, what is it called? I don't remember. The one where it's like the watery side and the not watery side. And then others like this would not be doing that as much because they're kind of pointing in a different direction. Correct, except in instances like this, or like this, or like this. But then like right here or right here, it's going to be going parallel. Interesting. Interesting. Hang on. I just suddenly had a vision in my head. And I need to do this before we continue with the winds. I just need to test this out. That looks kind of fun. That looks kind of fun. I kind of like that. Let's add some little ones again. Maybe we'll go down to 11. Oh. That looks kind of fun. And if we have the winds blowing across them, that creates a very interesting little environment. Welcome back, Brick. I added a bunch of mountain fingers. And I think we're positioning this east-north. East is our north. There we go. Compass. East up. See, now that I've done that down there, I kind of want to make these mountains more interesting, though. Wah. Mountain fingers. Could call that mountain range the Claw. Below Lover Mountains is Claw Mountains. That'll help us remember the first one. Okay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Not that big. Maybe 21. I think let's branch these up a little bit here. And then we get little baby ones again. I don't like those. Hold on. Yep. There we go. That looks kind of cool. This is really coming together. What do we think about this? My nose is still itchy and all the hairs are gone. What is this itchy curse? What is this itchy curse? Okay. Let's start, I'm totally not putting off, any wind additions. I'm totally just doing other important things. I'm going to tinge this just a little bit warm colored. We'll see how that feels. Make it a little carroty. And then I guess, do I want that white? Is there a better white? There's a gray. There's rocks. We'll go with white for now. We'll go with white for now. And we'll just do a little bit of this up here. There we go. Now it's not the UK, right? Wales isn't colder than the rest of the UK. Wales doesn't have mountain lovers. Okay. Let's save that for a second. And now we'll do the winds for real. We'll do the winds for real. I don't know how to do the winds. Let's go back to brush size 1. The equator's in the center of the map. I guess it is now. I guess it's just like, let's just draw a line, right? Wait, are we on? We need to be on the top. There we go. We're on top. Let's make a red line for equator, and we're just gonna go. I guess it'll be kind of along the fault line that we made. Womp. I don't know how well you guys can see that on stream. It's not a straight line. Maybe I make these lines a little bit thicker. Hey, Rye. I accidentally invented the UK. But I changed it. Oh my god, the hair on my nose. Oh, hold on, don't look. What is happening? What do you mean, Akatar moment? We can't have any Akatar moments in this economy. No. Invented the UK, Rye. I didn't even mean to. It's just by accident. Let's put the equator here. What now? I didn't know Bradley was the founder of the UK. Surprise. It's me. It's a me, a Papa Pia. So, do I have to choose a same direction for the winds? Why do they blow like this? Why do they change here? Why do they go wonky? Is this circle because it's just water? There's so much I don't know. And then this circle too? I'm seeing circles where there's a lot of water. Above and below the equator. If you put the equator there, then all of where your rainforests would be are currently ocean. We can get, what is it called? Washington State. Temperate rainforest? You've potentially hurricane-proofed the continent. I'm okay with that. We can move the equator up a little bit. I mean, there can be, like, you know, a little bit in this area of, like, actual rainforest. Let's go over here. Let's do, Earth biome map. Also, Ryan, now that you're here, I'll say this again. I switched to Ecosia. It's been very nice so far. Which one of these do I want to open? Let's try this one. Open image in new tab. Those are different high pressure regions. In the northwest hemisphere, in the northwest hemisphere, clockwise is high pressure and counterclockwise is low pressure. I'm literally going to copy and paste this. Or I will forget it. Hang on. Let's actually can we undo that and paste it down here near map? There we go. What else have I missed? The Köppen climate system would be very useful here. Köppen climate system, very cool. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Köppen. Definitely didn't zone out. We learned about it in class. Those stand for different biomes. Why can't they just say the names? Why do they have to make it difficult? I mean, I can infer what a lot of these are, but they're very long. That's a choice that somebody made. They didn't have to be like that. Somebody did that. Here we go. It's so blurry. ResearchGate. For example, BSK is cold semi-arid climate. Verify you're human. I'm human. Give me this. Will it open in bigger quality now? Yay! We can delete all the tabs. Okay. You guys can't see the tabs. I can see all the many tabs. Okay, so we would be taking something like right here, right? We would be like, chop. Let's look at this again. I learned about this in geography class. My last geography and climate class was in 9th grade. Remember that the equator is where the dark blue in the middle of Africa is. Yes, okay. Dark blue equator. Interesting. I like what North and South America and what China have going on there. Namely because I don't want a bunch of enormous deserts. Amazon and Congo are the equator. Deserts flank either side. Have you ever looked at those hypothetical maps of Pangaea Proxima? And how they have this kind of climate sort of map situation? But then because it's a supercontinent, the middle of it is mostly just an enormous uninhabitable desert. Would not be a good place to live. Okay, so a lot of these climates do have to do with the mountain ranges here, though, right? So, like, what's going on in South America is largely because of the mountain range that's there, right? So, like, all of the... Why is my brain literally only thinking of cloud juice? All of the cloud juice pours down on the east side, right? And that's why we have the desert on the west. The rain! Rye, you saying I'm not smart enough for this stream when I literally forget the word rain? I still remember I was in 5th grade and we were doing like it was like a pop quiz writing exercise sort of thing, and we had to write about whatever it was, and I just fully ground to a halt because I forgot how to spell the word of. I was like, is you of? I was trying to sound it out. I was like, U-V of. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Northern coast of Peru is very dry. Okay, that's very good to know. Sent something in general. I will check that out. Go get a drink of cloud juice. Of, yes, OF. And I was like, because, you know, it sounds a little bit like a V when you say it. I literally don't know what happened. It's the only time that's ever happened to me in my life. And I was just like, I don't know how to spell of. I don't know how to do it. Oh, I'm just catching up on general messages. Diamond, we gotta get you a new Twitch account. We gotta get you a new Twitch account. The background is art that I did. Hang on, now I'm getting distracted. The background of this, I can actually change a few of them. Hang on. We also have this one. This little book. These are all from the same room. They're all from the same scene. And this is like a little room view. These are stills from a scrapped animatic that I was making. But they still look cool as a background. You can actually see the stream. That's very good. Ba-ba-bum. You became a DM for your friend group? You should totally make a world. It's so much fun. Okay, I'm looking at the thing you sent. Determining primary Köppen-Geiger climate classification. We have an E climate if the warmest month is less than 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got to keep it in Fahrenheit. I'll get confused. Oh, and then if E go to B, this is actually wonderful. This is very helpful. I wonder if I can bring this up on the web browser. I can just put it in our document. Bradley animatic? Yeah. Should I give you the premise? I was making an animatic. I don't know if you remember this. This is a little bit more deep lore. But in my book series, there is a deceased magi named Redalig. He was the one who did all like the story keeping, basically. And so he was the one who made like the play that's depicting events from the past and all that sort of stuff that's left behind now that he's gone. And so it was basically a collection of short stories that are written by him, like from his POV. And then the animatics were basically like the room that you guys can see a bit of in the background. Was a room that he was in as he's documenting all of this stuff. And then it then kind of like cuts to other scenes of the stories that he's talking about. It's just like a little series of short stories. It was really cool. But it was just like slightly above my skill level at the time. But I might try to pick it up again another time. I got like 5 minutes of it done, and it looks pretty cool. But then I had like a vision in my head for how the next part was supposed to look, and that was too complex for me. The guide also tells you what the Köppen codes stand for. I do see that with the letters and stuff. It makes more sense to me now. I understand. Well, I don't understand because it's brand new, but I understand it conceptually. I do not have the patience to do an animatic. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. Maybe at some point I'll show you guys the scrapped first few minutes of it. Okay, so okay, great. So this is basically a desert. Is that correct? You go to the bees. It is. Okay, I'm understanding. I've been fighting art block to make an animation. Only like 7-ish seconds in. I don't know if this is helpful at all, but I find whenever I experience art block, I have to stop thinking about the whole project. Then I get a little paralyzed. I have to just be like, this is what I'm doing in this moment. It's just this frame. It's just this little drawing. And enjoy the process instead of the product. I think focus on the product is paralyzing. Not to get deep. All right. So polar, and we have desert, tropical, which currently we would have very little of. Mesothermal is C. Mesothermal. Humid subtropical. Okay, let's look at the C's so that I can understand this a little bit better. C's are the green ones. Okay. Okay. So CFA, humid subtropical, hot summer, year-round precipitation, winter drought. So then a lot of that is, well, the US. Meso meaning middle, that makes sense. Look at you teaching us stuff. She's teaching all of us. She's teaching all of us. So is Eclipse. And I'm teaching you guys how to recreate the UK accidentally. How to course correct when you accidentally recreate the United Kingdom. D climate, microthermal, cooler and wetter. Okay, where are our D's? Those are the pinks. Oh, there's a ton of them. Pinks and purples and blues. This covers a lot of ground in one category, but not a lot of ground on the world map. Wait, no, the blues do. The blues do. Those blues do. Why are there two different colors of blue? There's the A blue and the D blue. Okay, the D blues are higher up and the A's are the tropical ones. Hold on, let me catch up. Humid subtropical includes southeastern US. Right. 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 Okay. Wait, but this one's a B. That's a pink B. These are literally tiny little patches, these little pink bits, right? What is DSA and DSB? Does it have it on here? I don't actually see these on here. Do you guys know what that one is? Does it say it on here? A is hot summer. S is dry summer? Dry hot. Dry hot summer. Hot girl summer or dry hot summer? Tag yourself. Okay, if I get so far into this, I'm going to completely lose myself. We need to get back on track. We're trying to make wind currents. This is good. This is important. And I'm going to keep it cycling in the back of my head. In terms of climates, I do think I want to avoid making all of this a desert. A little desert is okay. I'm not a huge desert fan. I'm not a huge desert fan. If this is where the equator is, though, does this warm patch work? I guess it does, yeah, because then we would get past that zone and we would hit desert. We have slightly jumped beyond wind. We have, but this is good because it's good stuff for us to have. So if I wanted... Okay, let's just draw out some hypotheticals here. Good way to avoid desert is to add more water. That makes sense. So let's just say, hypothetically. Oh, and would we have the topsy... Wait, hold on. Let me go back to what I copy and pasted from you. Northern hemisphere clockwise is high pressure, counterclockwise is low pressure. So then in southern hemisphere, that would... Wait, would that be southern? Where's our east? East is that way? So yes, this would be southern. So then southern low pressure would be clockwise. So then theoretically, would this be enough space to have this sort of thing happening? Is that a thing? A good way to avoid desert is to add more water, give some lakes and rivers to spice it up. If we add a bunch of lakes and rivers through this section of the map, that'd look pretty cool. So theoretically, let's say we have wind that's moving this way, like this, along the equator. And then imagine we would have this mountain range continue this way. Then this section would be dry, and then this section would be wet. Does that work? Especially if we add a few more lakes and rivers over here? Would we avoid desertifying it too much? We do that, these would both be moving in the same direction, right? Oh. Like this. I would need more lakes and rivers. Okay. So if we spice up this area with some more lakes and rivers, theoretically, that could work. How much time do we have? We have 30 minutes. We can make this a reality. Hang on, let me check me Discord. Okay. Why are you quoting me saying cloud juice? Okay. Let's add in this mountain bit here. I know we've kind of abandoned the tech. I'm gonna make it look like a rectangle though with all the mountains. It's just gonna be a mountain rectangle. We can't do that. We already have this lake here. What if we were to put the mountains down here instead? What if mountains went like that? And then we erase these mountains. I don't know. That's a lot of mountains. You know what? Let's ignore the mountains for right now. Let's take away these. And we're just going to put down some lakes and rivers. And we'll see if we like the look of it. So, to catch up anyone who was not here earlier, right now our ideas consist of big world, ground eventually drops off to a really steep drop at the edges, don't know what's beyond that. Maybe multiple suns or moons, sugar glider folk, gliding between big old trees, mushroom people. We have these two mountains that bridge this gap here that can be related in some way. We also have this mountain bowl over here that we can plop something maybe spooky, scary in. And then we added these little claw mountains. And then once we get a little more in here, we can start popping it into our little wiki, which I can make public so you guys can see it. If the world has a steep cliff drop, like it's on a big mountain, all the water would flow off, wouldn't it? I wonder if it's not like, I don't know, imagine some like big old cliff things that kind of like a Maybe we'll do a few more of them up here. Kind of clean up these edges just a touch. Okay, I like this. I like this. Let's see if we can bring down the roughness a little more. We can't go below 3, it says. I wonder why that is. What if we take this away? No, we literally just can't go below 3. Preset. We have to upgrade. I see. They hate me. Can we make it even smaller? We cannot. Okay, this is as small as we can get with the inlets. That's a little bit annoying, but that's okay. We'll do our best. That region could be prone to flooding. It certainly looks that way. It certainly looks that way. That could be really fun, because then this region of the map could be like, they want to trade with the other continent, this is the best place to do so, but it's prone to flooding, right? So people have got to live there, one way or another, for their own interests. Let's add a few little water features that are in here. That used to looks like a what? What did I said in my mouth? Like this looks like a lake that I used to live on. Especially since I'm assuming that the region above it is at a slightly higher elevation. Flooding could be an interesting aspect of life. I definitely think so. And actually, this is a very, like, rigid line right here. So I kind of want to bring some of this a little bit further in like that. Just so we have a little bit more variation going on. Maybe we'll have one more over here that does that. And then we could have, like, a little bit of water stuff going on here. Maybe this kind of curves in. Ooh! Ooh! What if there's just, like, one little narrow channel that connects the coasts? And then that's like a major little trade route that goes from side to side. I can have semi-aquatic species. I love this. Flooding area. Semi-aquatic species. Maybe they have good trade. Maybe semi-aquatic people have better trade than the rest of the people because they're able to actually keep up in these areas. Yay, no more Britain. Oh my god. One thing I do know about geography is you tend to get rivers trailing from mountains to coasts. You're absolutely right. We should add some of that. We should add some of that. Okay. Let's add first. There's so much to do all of a sudden. Let's get one that's like trailing out. Oh, that mountain is now floating. Now floating. Okay, let's do the other way. Let's do the other way. Let's bring one in like this. Maybe we'll have another one that cuts in kind of like this. The way all of you guys are going, yay, no more Britain, is crazy. If we're doing sugar glider folk, are we having other kinds of beast folk? Because frog folk in the river areas could be neat. So here's a thing. Frog folk, absolutely. Only Ireland. Hi, Gecko. Hi, Gecko. I think... How do I explain my vision? I think starting with, here's frog folk, here's sugar glider folk, but then diversifying it so that it's a little more unique, if that makes any sense at all. So I don't want to go full on like, you know how in D&D you can play as like the turtle person, or you can play as the cat person, right? And they literally look like an anthropomorphized cat or turtle. I would want to have that as a starting idea. and then create something that's actually very unique and stands on its own. I love them as starting places, though. I love them as starting places. Turtle folk. And then we'll kind of, like, fancy them up. What are sugar gliding folk? We had the idea of having sugar glider creature people that can, like, glide. I did mean frog folk. Let's put both. And forg. That's not how you spell it, but it's there. Yeah, sugar glider folk that can go from place to place. Toad folk. Bird people. And these ones won't be in denial. Okay? Will those do that? Whoa! Okay, no, bring back the masks. Good lord. We can do a similar kind of thing over here. Mayhaps. Something like that. Duck folk and lemonade stands. Get ready to get banned. Oh, let's have another little thing that comes up here. Oh my god. You guys are so annoying. That's looking super cool. That's looking super cool. Yes, you. Yes, you. What do you mean the grapes thing gives you an idea? It shouldn't. Not in a good world. Is this a main continent you're creating? I guess so. We just kind of started going, you know? I don't imagine it's the whole world. But it's at least part of it. What if there's a winter culture somewhere that prides themselves on their winemaking? That would be really fun. That would be really fun. Wine culture. A rich culture in the countryside. Side. Big old... You were having dinner. You know, that's a good reason to miss the beginning of stream, though. This is important. Important to do. I wonder we have, like, more water features in here, do you think? Yeah. Eh? That looks like something. That means something. Maybe make this a little bigger. Maybe we make this a little bigger. Maybe we make this a little bigger. Make this a little bigger. I'm adding little islands in here. I think that'll be fun. You can have little island people. I love the idea also of people who live in watery places that have like floating cities. Not like if you were in the D&D campaign. Not like Natante's floating city. But like imagine a giant barge. I literally can't spell anything. Rye, you might have been onto something when you said that the clicky keys are harder to type on. But I'll get it. I've committed myself to this, mostly because my old keyboard is dead and I don't want to buy another new one. Spice this up a little bit. And do the same thing here. Give it a few little inlets. And then I think we'll like kind of pull back a little bit and check out the winds again. Just realized, since there's technically a ton of thunderstorms over the equator, traveling to the other continent may be challenging. That would be fun. Okay. Storms in between the two continents. Great. I'm not entirely satisfied with the shape of this water thing that's going on here. I don't know if this is geographically accurate, but wouldn't the right-hand coast be quite marshy? I think so. I think so. What if there's an aquatic race that helps people cross the ocean? That would be cool. This is looking pretty cool so far. The Storm Guides. That's a name. That's very good. +1 inspiration to you. Oh my god, it has so much more character now. So much less UK. Let's spice this up a little bit. I do realize I just said we're going to do winds now, and then I didn't do it at all. We're going to do it now! Okay. So now that we have all of this, if we return to top layer, brush size... Wait. Not erase. Unerase. There we go. Winds. Let's increase this just a little bit. I think we had it at like 3 or 4. So, if we have winds going this way at this point, alright, ba-boop. I don't know what that little wind circle does. I was trying to be smart when I added it, and I don't know if it actually works or what it would do, but I put it there. And then at a certain point, they reverse the other direction, right? I don't know if this continent is big enough for that to happen. Do you think? Like maybe they would start going the opposite way up here? I don't know. No, because they would have to. If it goes from hot to cold that fast, they would have to be turning like over here. Is that accurate? Or, like way over here. I do think, while I'm pondering this, I would like to put in a few little pockets of color. Let's use this on the foreground. What if there's a big sinkhole somewhere? That would be cool. Sinkhole. We'll try this one. Make this a little bit... How big is this? That's probably okay. Lower the opacity. The mountains would definitely affect things. How? How? Okay, well, if wind is going this way, let's just follow this train of thought. Then the watery wet would be collected on these sides. Right? So we get a little bit of like this going on. You heard me. The watery wet. Okay. Let's save. We only have a few more minutes of this stream. You guys think we should add anything else important before we do our final touches today? I'll try to do a little bit of... No, we're not adding a big ant colony. Actually, that'd be really cool. We should add a big ant colony. But I don't think it should be ants. Big dragon colony. Bugs. High pressure on mountains. High pressure and cold. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't exactly know what that means. Or what that does to my map. Rain shadow. That's the word for what I'm adding right now. I'll just do a little bit of it like that. Maybe we'll pool a little bit more in these little valleys. These mountain valleys over here. Ants do well in regions that flood. The ants make bridges out of their bodies in the regions that flood. Your wins look like they should work. My god, I did something. That's cool. Okay, then if we're down here, let's just denote some valleys, I think. So we're gonna have some right here. I imagine this would be probably a lusher, lower area close to the water here. Swimming ants. Aquatic ants would be pretty awesome. Aquatic ants would be pretty awesome. Let's see what else we can do. That would be drier up there. We'll probably have some more areas like this down here, right? These could be pretty green areas along here. Especially right down in here, right? Brain is simply dying so they get the eclipse stamp of approval. Yeah, we don't need to overthink it that much, right? We want enough for it to be realistic, but not enough that we have to go back through school in order to do it. Let's do just a little bit of it down here as well. I love making a map like this. This is actually a very soothing process. We can also green up the edges of these over here. Marshland, little bits. And just say the gods did it. We absolutely can't. I was literally thinking about Mordor as I was doing this and setting up all these mountains, and I was like, Mordor doesn't make a single bit of sense. What are the tectonic plates under Mordor? Tolkien, tell me that. What genre of fantasy are we going for? I don't know yet. I definitely do have a love for darker fantasy. Or a little grimdark. He actually wrote the books before plate tectonics were widely accepted. That is so funny. I did not know that. Wow. Science is too recent for my comfort sometimes. People really just were believing whatever they wanted to believe. Mid to late 1960s is crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. Open catalog. Ooh, could we change some of the watercolor here to be a little more... Ooh, look at that. It looks almost a little more Mediterranean. That kind of works, right? Like location based. My brain went, what if there's a region that was made out of solidified clouds that fell to the earth? What if they were in the midst of a storm when they solidified? That's cool as hell. Solidified clouds in the midst of a storm that fell to earth. That's epic. Absolutely epic. Maybe cursed? That's not how you spell cursed. Maybe cursed? Oh, this is going to be so much fun to build out now. Okay. Now that we have all of this, before we totally wrap up today. Country-sized hail. The pinned message. Oh my god. Now that we're wrapping up, what do you guys think would be a good thing to focus on for the stream next Friday? Do you think more map stuff? Do you think just like planning out, like scouting out maybe where different regions or countries are on here based on the geography that we've got going on so far? Maybe East Continent? I have kind of abandoned the East Continent in all of this. We can definitely develop that more. I think we were focusing on the left one more, but it doesn't mean we can't go back to the other one. You're right, South Continent. Southern Continent, because this is our northern one. Look at it sideways. History, for sure. For sure. We need to eventually, we got to develop some ancient history, recent history, and modern history. I always love a world that has like a very rich sense of people have lived here before, but maybe the people who are living there currently don't know everything. A little bit of mystery, a little more map, and then different intelligent beings. That would be super cool. Ancient history. I haven't listened to that much Rye. Okay, yeah, when we come back next week, we'll start kind of plotting out some different species and I think like loose geographically informed cultures, and then we'll try to pull some history into that as we go. We do also need volcanoes, you're right. You're right. Okay, let's write down a little list real quick. We'll have next stream. We'll do a little map fleshing out. We'll do, that can include volcanoes. Oop, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do, no, nobody look. There we go. We can do a little bit of, why is it doing the, don't do that to me. Help, I've broken it all. There we go. We'll do a little history. We'll do species. We'll do vague borders and cultures. I don't think we'll get that deep into it, but we'll have a little more time next time. If you weren't here earlier, I think I'm going to start probably an hour later next time. We'll probably change it to the same time as the Tuesday, 11 a.m. PST. But it's noon, which means I have to get going. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. This is really fun. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys.